Hello Internet, I'm me, and this is Yuden Sentai Kyoryuger, episode 3, and I've just realized two things. One, I've been spelling Kyoryuger wrong on all my reviews so far. It's Kyryuger. Duh. And two, I forgot to show you this. Yes, the dancing Kyoryuger. Well, now that you've seen that, let's go on to the episode 3, which is, well, this episode is a bit not weird, honestly. This episode is actually probably the most straightforward episode since the first episode. Yeah, you know, all 3 episodes. This episode actually is showing kind of a progression of what I kind of am hoping to see for the rest of the season. First episode was crazy kiddish. Second episode was half kiddish, half pretty good story, and actually, you know, pretty not kid-friendly. Third episode is a lot less kid-friendly, if you can say that. It has a lot more heart and showing more of a relationship progression between all the different characters. And I actually am like seeing that. And this actually holds up a lot of hope that this season will have its silly moments, yes, but move on to become more serious and kind of get cooler as it goes on. Kind of having the, from what I've heard, the opposite effect of Go-Ojan, where Go-Ojan started out serious and then turned into Sesame Street. This started out as Sesame Street and going on to be a bit more serious. I hope so. But this episode is episode 3, and honestly, I'm going to come out with my rating right now. I have an 8 out of 10 for this episode. It is a really good episode, in my opinion, and though it does kind of seem a bit formulaic, and the only reason it's not a 9 or a 10 out of 10 is the fact that they kind of keep pushing the Red Ranger forward. And there's a reason I don't like that. And I'm going to get to it before I get to the overview of the episode real quick. Kyoryuger, whenever they had an episode that was for the other characters, like the Green Ranger, like where Doc was trying to figure out a new system or a new gun to defeat this one guy who had like shields that could block fuck everything. It focused on the Green Ranger, and that's it. Like, you didn't see Captain Marvelous just coming in and just fucking doing it himself. It was the Green Ranger who did it. It was Doc. When Gokai Pink, or Princess Aimee, finds the bastard who killed off her planet, or at least, like, you know, wrecked her shit and killed off her parents, we didn't have Captain Marvelous coming in and delivering the finishing blow and having Princess Aimee standing next to him while the camera is squarely on Captain Marvelous. No, we had Gokai Pink. We had Gokai Pink fighting with everybody, of course, but delivering the finishing blow and having the camera on her. Here, we have an episode that's for the Green Ranger and his struggle with his family and all that, but you have so much of the Red Ranger there. We have so much of King there. Even after one of the finishing moves that both the Green Ranger does this finishing slash, but of course it's followed up by the Red Ranger finishing the monster off himself and getting the awesome slow-mo explosion. Don't believe me? Here it is. You see what I mean? Though it is a really cool sequence, and I really like the action in this episode, and yes, the Green Ranger does save King and his father, the camera doesn't realize that. Like, the direction of the episode keeps going, well, he might have done that, but Red Ranger is better. He's so cool, so much cooler. And I get it. He's the leader. He's the leader of the team, and he should be, you know, the main dude and like the one the kids are all rooting for and want to be. But when you need a character to have character development, you don't push another character to the side. All right? Like, you let the character have his moment. You don't have like another character go, well, that's cool, but you know, I'm cool too. But you know, whatever. Anywho, this episode is about the Green Ranger actually kind of standing up to his father. Kind of. We figure out that the Green Ranger has been going to the same cafe that everyone goes to, and has been sitting there ordering cream sodas all the time, which is not bad. I like cream soda. But he never smiles, and the Pink Ranger has always made it her goal to see him smile, no matter what, by giving him great service and being a nice person all around, which is cool. But as he's sitting down to get his normal cream soda, like he always does, his father comes in and grabs him, telling him to get out of there and stop wasting his time in this cafe, paying for the cream soda in a very over-the-top fashion. Since he does this and he walks out, with his son going, you should practice your swordsmanship because it is terrible. And I've seen that swordsmanship that you've done, which is the backhanded sword. I've never actually kind of been into that sword style of holding the sword backwards where the blade is out like this, because it's good for sliding like this, but it's not that good of a style. It's a personal preference of mine, but I don't like that style of sword fighting, mostly because I've trained in sword fighting. But yeah, I don't like that sword fighting style. It's just kind of weird to me. So, and his father thinks the same as well, thinking that only a beast holds his sword backwards like this, and saying that he needs to train more so that his swordsmanship can actually improve. And suddenly, that jail monster that you saw explode, his name is Jail Cell, real creative, comes around capturing fighters and putting them in a little jail cell that's on his shoulder, and capturing them. And he's doing this to other people and actually attacking people with henchmen. The Green Ranger's ready to fight, but his father says, no, you're not fighting because your swordsmanship is ugly. I'm sick of looking at it. I'm going to fight on my own. And takes on the henchmen along with the Kyoryuger, the rest of the Kyoryuger, except for Black, who is not here yet, and takes them on and pretty much shows that he can handle his fucking own, and even deflects the jail cell, because he throws this cage out and then it captures you and then puts you in the jail cell. But he deflects it with his sword, which is only a practice sword. It's not even a bladed one. It's wooden. It's a boken, and he fucking kicks ass with that thing. But is moved out of the way by the Red Ranger going, yo, cool, but we need you out of the way. And he's like, oh, cool, no, you got it, and then leaves. The Green Ranger going off to hide somewhere, then Hinchin, then come back, and then take on the jail cell, kicking its ass promptly in a really cool fight scene, which, again, though I don't like the sword style, what they do with this sword style in the fight scenes is actually really cool and interesting, using a lot of the wrist work to actually play into how the blade moves and moves around the enemy. It's really cool. Anywho, but all of a sudden, Dogold, or the Soldier of Rage, comes in to intervene with this, saying that the jail cell is fucking wasting time and he's being useless, knocking around the Kyoryuger mercilessly and getting them pissed off, and getting the Green Ranger really pissed off and out of control. The Red Ranger trying to control him, the Green Ranger actually tries to freaking fight him. But then Black Ranger comes in and steps in and says, don't do that. And, of course, the Gold is like, oh, fuck. All right, you guys can't even get your shit together. I'm out of here. And then leaves. He's just really pissed off with everything. Because, you know, Soldier of Rage and shit. So, we figure out that Gold is actually using people, like capturing strong people, using jail cell to capture strong people and throw them in, well, confinement. And because strong people are so, well, think themselves highly and strong, that once they're captured, they get enraged and try to get out. And that rage starts fueling up his little totem. And it actually works pretty well. It actually plays on a lot of psychological issues that most people who think themselves as strong in a physical sense tend to have. Huh. I didn't think I'd be diving into psychology with a show that has dancing dinosaurs. Anywho, later, the Kyoryuger are all powering up their batteries. And of course, the Green Ranger's like, dude, King, I'm never going to take orders from you. And then King's like, oh, really then? When are you going to take my orders? And then Green Ranger's like, when you beat me. And then he goes, okay, let's do it. If you win, King is like, if I win, you take my orders. If you win, I'll call you King. And then, like, Green Ranger's like, all right, let's do this, motherfucker. And holds up his sword. Big mistake on that point, because the Red Ranger takes on the Green Ranger, and right when the Green Ranger is about to take him out with a sword technique, Red Ranger just pulls out his gun and starts blasting him away. And honestly, he's in the right, even though the Green Ranger was saying, well, I was going for more of a sword-on-sword battle. He never said anything about using guns. He just said, I want to fight you. So, he gave him a fight. But the Green Ranger's like, yeah, all right, I'm fine. And then shows his identity, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's you. And, of course, he goes off to train. While the Blue Ranger actually is getting a new bike, or, well, everyone's getting a new bike, which are two smaller Volt swords that are from the original pack that are called the Guardians, that are additional dinosaurs and additional dinosaur batteries that are going to be spread out, aka the new attachments for the Megazord and shiz like that. So, these smaller Volt swords that are like two raptors actually combine together to make the Diny Chaser, or a motorcycle. And they give it to, and of course King finds the Green Ranger, talks to his father about why he's so mad at him, and then gives the Green Ranger the new Diny Chaser to allow, because, well, the jail cell actually runs really fast for some reason and can get away from the Q Ranger, which actually was kind of interesting. I liked how they used the whole cartoon, whoa, as an actual effect. Not like, oh, it's silly and we're speeding up the film. No, he's actually super fast now because of that. I've never seen that done before. Except for maybe in Kung Fu Hustle. But other than that, I've never seen that done before. So, they give it to the Green Ranger so that next time Jail Cell comes around, they can chase and find him and catch him. And then Jail Cell comes around, capturing both the Red Ranger and the Green Ranger's father. So, of course, the Pink and Green Ranger are fighting off everybody, the henchmen, and then, of course, the Green Ranger's like, alright, I'm going to use this new motorcycle thing. It chases after them for taking down the jail cell using a new technique that incorporates his sword fighting technique and his father's sword fighting technique, combining them together and kicking ass and taking names, destroying the jail cell's cage so that he can't capture anybody anymore, letting loose the Red Ranger. All four of blue, pink, red, and green come together and hit him and roll call. Change!
Kyoryuger
As cool as that is, this episode is getting long, so I'm going to just breeze through whatever happens at the end. The Kyoryuger actually fight the jail cell as he grows super giant, and then they fight him off, and then they're like, dang, we need to get to the hostages, but we need to fight as well. So the Green Ranger brings up his awesome Volt Sword, which is a raptor with a fucking blade tail, which is always cool, and comes up and it combines with the Kyoryuger, giving the Kyoryuger a bladed arm and a Stegosaurus shield, being able to take down the bad guy, the jail cell, giant jail cell, really quickly and without much trouble. While the Triceratops goes in, drills in, frees the captives, and everybody ends it happily. They all come back to the cafe where the Green Ranger is now smiling. The Pink Ranger is so happy about this, she gives him a really endearing hug. And fanfickers everywhere started shipping the Green Ranger and the Pink Ranger together. That was this entire episode. Again, this is an 8 out of 10, and I really liked this episode. There was actually a lot in here that I could have talked about, and it is probably why this episode is so long. But I'll leave you all with that, and hope that you guys go to the episode link in the description, bing, 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 and watch the episode for yourself. And tell me what you think about it in the comments section. Anything else? No? Good. Until next time, y'all. Peace.
拳銃の名手でプレイボーイイアンは女の子にモテモテそこへこのバンドの怪人が現れ大ピンチブラックを信じてキングが危険な影に出る次回撃ち抜け勇気のガブリオルマーブレイブだぜ
この番組は楽しい時を作る企業バンダイとご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りしました。